Well, good morning and happy Wednesday to you. Welcome to day 18 of the Bible Memory Challenge. So glad to have you with us today. Hopefully things are going well for you. Hopefully you got through yesterday's verse okay and you're ready to move on. Also, hopefully you have your coffee with you. I went and got my coffee again this morning. Actually, I tried to figure out which car I could pull in behind that would maybe buy my coffee for me, and no luck, I had to buy my own coffee today. I'm actually just kidding. I did buy my coffee, but I wasn't trying to pick the car to pull in behind. Anyway, so let's look today at verse 18. Verse 18 is actually going to conclude this entire thought that Paul began back in verse 15, where he talked about some preach Christ from envy and rivalry, others from goodwill. He talked about the latter, how they did it out of love, and then the former, how they did it out of selfish ambition. And then today in verse 18, he comes to the conclusion. And so keep all that in mind. That kind of will help you get these verses in order. And so today in verse 18, it reads like this. 1:18, what then? Only that in every way, whether in pretense or in truth, Christ is proclaimed, and in that I rejoice. Yes, and I will rejoice. 1:18, what then? Only that in every way, whether in pretense or in truth, Christ is proclaimed, and in that I rejoice. Yes, and I will rejoice. What makes this verse a little bit unique, maybe challenging, is that at the very end, after he says, and in that I rejoice, you think you're done then. At least in my Bible, there's a heading there that goes to a new section, which says that section is entitled To Live as Christ. And verse 19, verse 18 then picks up there, the last part where it says, yes, and I will rejoice. It would have been nice if the translators, or who put these versions together, would have made verse 19 begin with, yes, and I will rejoice, and then go on. But they broke it up for some reason like this, and so that makes it a little bit awkward. So just keep that in mind. But once again, let me read it one more time. 1:18, what then? Only that in every way, whether in pretense or in truth, Christ is proclaimed, and in that I rejoice. Yes, and I will rejoice. Okay, so once you've read through that slowly, 10 times, then obviously you're going to cover it up and see if you can get it from memory. And what I would tell you to do today is don't forget to use some of these other tools and techniques we've been talking about. Use the Bible Memory app. On a verse like this, I would definitely use it because to me it's chopped up a little bit, and that would just help me out. Anytime I struggle with a verse, I go straight to the Bible Memory app. Just having to type in those letters, for some reason, for me, that just really brings it all together. And I would also record this. I would record myself saying the verse and listen to it over and over, or go to one of the other audio Bibles and use the element of sound. And then I would draw some pictures. I've seen some pictures. I know Katie Hatchett posted some cool pictures yesterday of a verse that she was working on. So be creative, draw pictures, underline, highlight. Just use these different sensory perceptions to help you to memorize these verses. I think that's the best way to do it, as opposed to just straight rote memory. If I had to just memorize Bible verses by just straight memory, it would be so ineffective for me. I have to use these other techniques. So mess around with that, play around with that, and you'll get through this verse fine. And we're making great progress. And see, tomorrow we'll be in verse 19. Finish up with verse 20 on Friday. And so we are making some wonderful progress here. I want to remind you guys that are watching tonight. We're having our Equipping University class at 6:30. That'll be live streamed on Facebook, and we're beginning a new series tonight. We're going to study the Lord's Prayer. I think prayer is so important, especially in a time such as this, and the Lord tells us how to pray, and so we're going to study the Lord's Prayer for the next several weeks. These sessions last 20-25 minutes max, so we hope you can join us for that. But that is it for today. God bless you guys, and we will see you tomorrow.